Welcome to Daggers and Shadow Daddies.
We're your hosts, Ryan and Adriana.
Strap in and strap on.
Warning, this podcast contains explicit content. It's all vibes and no facts.
Prepare to be spoiled.
Wait, no, these are spoiler-free episodes.
We might still spoil you.
We're in Imogen's chapter here. Imogen says they're down to their most powerful fighter, Garrick. No sign of his dragon in sight. Glane teases about her with him. Again, I've seen some
Who's that? Ghislaine Maxwell? The New York financier's assistant?
That is my favorite bit.
Dude, Conan's great in general, but that is one of the best. And you can't even give it to Conan. I can't remember who that was. Jeff Epstein, the New York financier? It's fucking funny. Oh, it can't be. I surely would have heard about it.
Jim Downey?
Yes. Yep. Jim Downey. Oh, God, he's a funny guy.
Easily one of my favorite bits that I can just listen to over and over again.
I want to hear it one more time real quick. Then we'll get back into the episode. That whole fucking bit. The New York financier? Oh, where were we? Oh, yeah.
We were talking about...
Ghislaine's talking to... What's her name?
No, Glane.
Ghislaine.
Glane.
Glane Maxwell. Got it.
Teasing Imogen just a little bit about Garrick. I'm not convinced.
You're still not convinced that she's not a secret lesbian? She's just lying to her dragon?
I don't know.
And everybody else.
You're right. If anyone's going to know Glane, I trust Glane out of everybody.
Glane who? Listen, we had our moment with Furgalicious, now we have Ghislaine Maxwell. All right, fine.
I now believe Imogen likes Garrick.
Do you? Because just mere moments ago, you seem to not really believe it.
I didn't consider her dragon out of all the individuals to know Imogen likes Garrick. It took me a while. It took till the end of the book for me to be convinced.
It took you the 5th time rereading the last 5 chapters.
It took a while, but I got there.
The 3rd book.
Everybody voting against me.
Through the entire recording up until this exact moment.
Clinging to the few TikToks of those who also agree with me.
Yeah. Don't become a tribe, guys.
It makes me think of the no pants Arrested Development bit. There are literally dozens of us.
Oh, the Never Nudes. They are wearing pants and shorts.
Yes,
all the time.
Never Nudes. That's what it was.
Yeah. Tobias. Dude, he's another funny dude. Never mind. I'm just going to get into different comedic bits. David Cross has had his days in the sun.
Moving along.
Mm-hmm.
Quinn is the only person Imogen truly loves. As I've said, I was thinking this was going to be a confession.
Yeah, because you think love can only be romantic.
No.
You never had a friend that you loved?
And not like this.
Well, okay, fair, but when you were in high school, what if your buddy, who was your best friend in high school?
No, not like this.
You would have watched them die and been like, I don't love you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but definitely not like this. And I think that's kind of what makes this worse, that they're best friends. And they were roommates. I can't. I'm not convinced.
You are miraculously, logically, you know it's true.
I know it's true, but I just don't believe it.
Wow. I think you just really want her to be gay.
It
seems a little rude. I respect her sexual choices and things that aren't choices.
I think this is just a sad freaking scene. And I've re-listened to this chapter a couple times now, and it's so sad.
It is a very sad chapter. This is the saddest part of the whole goddamn book.
Yeah.
Other than when we thought Riddick was going to die. And then I think at some point Garrick was going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've really been faked out a bunch when Tarim was going to die. That was sad.
But just before the devastating scene, the Dark Wielders are on the tower with weapons. No one was supposed to know about the weapons. I'm assuming this is where Kaori gets involved. No, Panchek. Panchek gets involved in his traitorous ways. She takes Dain's shield and she turns it into stone. She's a stone wielder?
She's a wizard, Larry. Yeah, I think that's what I got from it. She turns things to stone. Maybe she's, what's that lady? The eyeballs, you look into them. She got
Oh.
Medusa powers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turn things to stone. Know what I mean? Garrick's walking around all rocked up.
No.
He will be.
Nope.
He will be.
Anyways.
She'll be like, he's hard. Thank you, Devera, but improvements, pow.
Oh, there isn't a reverse to what she does. It's just stone forever.
But I don't know. We didn't get to keep up with the shield much after that.
No, but when you think about a signet like that, Riddick, he turns things to ice and it just melts later.
Have we ever seen it melt? Maybe not. Maybe it's perpetual ice.
Is Riddick's level of ice power equivalent to that really icy liquid?
Are you thinking about liquid nitrogen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it like that, you think, in intensity?
Potentially. I don't know. His whole thing is, what I take Riddick's power to actually be is to slow things down at like a molecular level. Because that's really all you're doing with cooling things, right? Is you're slowing the vibration of, never mind.
Yeah, you're bringing science into...
Well, I'm saying that's what makes things warm, right? Is the faster things are vibrating, the more heat they're giving off.
So Imogen is slowing things down to the point that they solidify?
No. Riddick is. Riddick's ice.
Wait a minute.
We're talking about ice.
I was talking about Sloan also. Never mind.
What the hell's happening?
I'm really just going to embarrass myself on my
you said Imogen.
Geology knowledge.
Oh, okay. So here's the thing. I'm about to talk real confident about some shit I don't understand that well. I don't necessarily think that she's changing things into like lattice structures, so therefore it's more solid or more densely packing things. She's not turning everything into diamonds. I think she is transmogrifying things into like rocks. But I think that Riddick's thing may actually have more to do with, because of the way cooling things down works, you're like absorbing energy.
No. Imogen's is probably more like Sawyer's, where there is metal already in the area. She is on this stone wall. It's like she pulled it up onto the shield.
Yeah, she's like what do they call them? There was the cartoon, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and there were people that moved rocks. You remember that?
Yep. I don't know a whole lot about Avatar.
I don't know a lot either, but I know somebody moved rocks around because I have a mental image of there being like a rock wall or a rock wave or something.
Yes, and I think every time we reference like Earth, Wind, and Fire and you bring up music.
Well, yeah. Or Avatar: The Last Airbender. Those are the four elements.
I bet that her signet is very similar to Sawyer's. There has to be metal there. There has to be stone already there. She can just manipulate the stone in the area. She can't just
Turn things to stone?
Yeah, just create stone. I don't think that's what happened.
Do you think she could transform anything that she's touching into something that's kind of around her?
You know what? I think you're setting me up for a joke.
I'm not. I'm legitimately curious.
No, I don't think she's like Medusa where she can turn things into stone. I think she used the stone and continued it or morphed it.
Okay. You think she's like an elemental wielder of some sort.
Yep.
And it happens to be like earth.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
But Riddick's is a little different where he can create ice, not use ice that's already there.
Does he create ice or does he just make things that already exist very cold?
Does it matter?
Well, kind of, right? Like, if you create ice, think of the X-Men. You have Bobby, who could create ice. So out of nothing but the dampness of the air, he makes a little swan out of ice, little sculpture. Riddick is instead super cooling things that are already there. Like, he couldn't build an ice bridge out of nothing. He could make a bridge that was already there, very slick.
I don't think I'm following it.
Well, okay, so the usefulness of the power of just pulling atmospheric water out of the air and freezing it is you could do things like shield yourself from an oncoming projectile or create an ice spike and just throw it at somebody. Like Mortal Kombat, right? Sub-Zero.
He can do that. He created ice when Brennan got hit in the face.
I thought he just really cooled down a rag, was what I thought happened.
I thought he made ice.
You could be totally correct. And if that's true, then the implication of his power is he's really underutilizing it.
Yeah, we went into a whole bit about refrigeration system in this world and how he's underutilized by being used as a weapon instead of cold storage.
Well, and now to know that he could create things, create ice from just the atmosphere, even as far as a weapon, he's underutilized.
I think what he ended up doing as a weapon, though, in this very
was
fight.
so cool. Yes, I have no argument for that at all.
I think he touched a wyvern and froze it from the inside out.
Yes, I completely agree. But he didn't just like turn the runestone into an ice cube, which would have been pretty rad also.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Riddick's amazing. I have no notes on Riddick.
So she turns the shield into stone. Quinn is injured, and Quinn wants Imogen to tell Jax that she loves her, and Quinn wants Imogen to tell Garrick how she really feels.
Quinn's got a lot of demands on her deathbed. Why
As
don't you
she
just die
should.
quietly, Quinn?
Knock it off.
Die as you lived, with fewer words.
No, knock it off.
This is the second most we've ever heard from Quinn.
We didn't hear a lot from Quinn. What I did hear
Heartbreaking.
persuaded me they were lovers.
It says more about you than Quinn.
Yeah. And it's heartbreaking. It's sad. Even the flashback.
Yeah, no, I think that's what made the whole moment really sad.
That was painful. I wish that didn't happen.
We're going to be friends. And then it's, well, we're going to cross the death bridge. And it might be a short friendship, but it'll be fun. And it's like, no, it will be terrible because you're only friends during this horrible moment.
And even more painful than that is she tells her, "You're going to beat my mom and I think my sister."
Oh, yeah. And that was the part that made me really sad. She's like, they'll know you. And she's like, they'll know me? And she's like, yeah, talk about you all the time. They're going to love you because you're impossible not to love, which I thought was filling a chapter a little bit, but whatever. But, yeah, I was really, really heartbroken by that too, where it's like, they'll know you and you're like, oh shit, this is so sad. And then she got excited by the fact that they would know her.
Yeah. And then she has to walk away. And then I think Garrick, so he shows up. It was this scene that I thought that...
When she says, I got to go first this time. And that made me a little sad too. Because...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Then Garrick shows up as the walls are being drained, which is why I thought he is the brother. I think I've been proven wrong, which I'll get to later. But he shows up. I think he carries them both. No, you don't think so?
No, she can move on her own.
I thought he scooped them both up.
Well, he did. Yeah, to get her the fuck out of there for a minute.
Yeah, and then he stepped away, and I thought that the landing was turning gray because of the venin, but I wondered if it was Garrick that was doing it as he was channeling. I don't know.
No, absolutely not. They've seen so many venin at this point, she would have been like, wow, his eyes are like Venin's eyes. It's not like Violet the first time she saw one. She's like, oh, when she saw Barlow. And she's like, the ring around his eyes. She didn't recognize it. At this point, they've seen hundreds of them.
Yeah, there was no mention of his eyes at all. But I think
there was mention of his eyes. She said the pallor of his skin, and I think she brought up that his eyes looked tired. She did not say a ring around his eyes. Again, I refuse to believe that she could possibly be this dense.
Garrick looks down after he takes her. I'm assuming in the center of an area. It's where all the weapons are being transported. They're trying to get all the weapons in one area. I believe so wards can be fixed. I don't know. Something about wards, something in the city, and something about weapons wherever he took Imogen and Quinn.
Yeah. He also said that he can't walk, as in he can't do his little teleport thing.
Yeah, that he's completely done. He's finished. I interpreted him looking down as him hiding his eyes. Others, and likely right, are interpreting it as he's defeated.
Yeah, I think if he had used venin powers, he would have fucking walked her to safety. It would have been such an unnecessary thing.
He did walk her to safety.
No, using his powers. He says, I can't use my power because I couldn't get back here. If he had this unlimited supply of power that the venin have, that would not have been a concern for him.
Right, okay.
I think that's the point.
And this chapter ends with Bodhi puking, putting all the weapons in one location to weave the wards. Okay, that is what's happening. Why do you think Bodhi was puking?
Oh, I don't know.
Some people think that it was because he was turning venin.
Have we heard of another person puking because they're turning venin?
No.
Okay. I mean, it could be the case, but it would be odd to establish that the last chapter of the third book.
It seems to be the only thing that explains it because there's no sense behind why he's throwing up.
Well, other than he would be really exhausted. Have you ever run or exercised to the point where you throw up afterward?
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I think that could be it. And also he's seeing desecrated bodies everywhere.
Wait, he's seen bodies before.
It's making fun of the fact that everybody's turning to dust.
Oh.
Desecrated. No,
We're getting
what's the word
annoyed
they
with
use?
a word. It didn't stand out to me, so I didn't catch it.
Oh my God, it was so many times. And it wasn't desecrated. It was maybe, I keep thinking, because after a little while, I just pretended they were saying defecated. They defecated in front of me.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it made it so much funnier, especially by the time Xaden says it. Desiccate. That's what it was. They were desiccating, which just means to turn to dust. But it's used so much in these chapters, and I assume it's because when you kill a venin, they shrivel up like a little raisin person.
I don't know what I pictured.
Well, I can tell you what I pictured after the 15th time they said the word desiccate.
I think my thoughts on the life being sucked out of you base from venin is like turning to stone, and then you just like turning into ash and you just crumble.
So like when they kill the venin, and this is kind of what I'm saying, yeah, it's almost like the Avengers thing where he snaps his finger and people just kind of crumble into nothingness.
Yeah,
that's
exactly. I think that's what I picture too.
That's kind of what I was picturing. But then imagine instead they are literally just shitting.
Wait, I forgot that's what you were. No!
Because it doesn't have to be every time, but every other time it would be a fun exercise to just switch that out in the book.
Yeah, what a fun time that'll be.
I can defecate them. Wow. Violet's gonna shit your pants. Be careful, T. T just shat in front of Violet when Violet finally got her. Oh, God.
Imagine that was somebody's signet.
Honestly, it would not be the worst one. I'm so sorry, Heaton.
Heaton never came back up.
This would have been a bad time for Heaton to be there. People are defecating all over the place. They can't breathe in shit.
Oh, Ryan.
What?
I wonder if we can send in a thing of making sure Heaton comes back in book 4 and gets their second signet.
You think we have the influence? Let's just text Becky Yarros. Yo, Rab, please.
We could set up like a little email bot that just emails every so often over the next couple years asking.
Just annoy her
just
into this
to be
decision.
A menace.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get blocked after the third email.
Definitely not. Chapter 64. Continuing on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand the excerpt of this chapter. I don't know why I wrote that note. Violet, back to the fight with T. There's hail. The conduit breaks. T, stop the storm. This is when I want to point out. We have been wrong on so many things throughout this entire book. So many things. I think the biggest wrong assumption that I had was how the second signets work. I thought it was the rune that caused it, and the dragons sought them out, those who were affected by the rune, because they would get a second signet. Nearly everyone took that scene to mean they're all family, and that they have kept it hidden from whoever writes it down.
What an interesting thing I might add to this, because that means that every one of the riders that came to the riders quadrant from the rebellion, every one of their parents was a dragon rider?
Yeah, I think so.
Don't you find that to be a little odd? That there were no Tirish scribes or Tirish infantrymen like Xaden's dad?
Oh.
Who...
No, it's just any family. It was just any family member of it's like great aunt, great uncle, great grandpa.
So wouldn't the odds of them just accidentally doing this all the time be really high? Is kind of what I'm getting at. You have a finite amount of dragons, and then you have a finite amount of...
No, you're adding too much
people who are
logic to
writers.
this stuff.
Okay.
No.
Right, I'm
It's
just saying. My third cousin twice removed, his mother-in-law was actually Segale's cousin's dragon.
But we've been wrong on many, many things. I can't even begin to...
I'm not throwing shade at anybody here. I'm just pointing out, I think we're all wrong.
But what I'm getting at is this scene, T stopped the storm. That is Violet's assumption. I took it at face value. There was a recommendation from one of our listeners to go and listen to...
Hold on. Before you get into this, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Is this a theory about it being Bodhi
Yes.
turned venin so that he could affect their magic.
Yes, but I want to share the TikToker.
I think that's totally fair, but I had that same thought, and I wanted to bring this up to you.
Okay. It's a theory that's out there. Where I heard it was from Emma Hallbrook, Halbrook. This was an individual recommended by one of our listeners. I went and listened to her Onyx Storm breakdown. Oh my God. I feel like I never read the book. She knows this book. I think she broke it down.
She read the book backwards.
I don't know how to describe it. You know how Rebecca Yarros has all of her notes. She has all of her references, all of these things, and then she writes her book. This woman did it in reverse. She has the book, and then she broke it all back down, and I think she's right on everything. And even if she's not, she is very confident in whatever she came up with.
To be fair, we were pretty confident, too.
We
were
wrong.
so wrong.
But Emma Hallbrook is the go-to person
For facts
about Onyx Storm. I don't think anyone can compete. That is wild details.
It's high praise.
But she was going into T stopping the storm, that it was actually Bodhi who turned venin, and he reversed it because we already saw he tried doing it. He wasn't enough. And I think she also brought up how he told Xaden all the time how he is going to be his right-hand man at all times, and that he's going to be his right-hand man as a venin.
He also told Xaden that he had no intention of ever ruling the kingdom.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, we discussed this also.
But
I did.
It didn't convince me until I listened to her say it.
You know what? I respect that because, frankly, I've been wrong so much.
Is that what you think happened and why you think it's Bodhi?
Yeah, 1,000%. If we re-listen to the beginning of this, it may not be exactly what she said, but it's got to be very similar.
It's probably very similar, but I needed to hear it from somebody else.
Somebody more correct. I don't blame you at all. I get it.
There's something wrong with Sigale. We now know that she was captured in a net just like Taryn and taken down. Did Violet break her arm? I think she did.
She thought she did.
She thought she did. So Taryn's taken down by a net. They're going down and sliding down a hill again. Not a hill. That really downplays the fall.
I believe they're in a city as well. Just like a valley outside the city of Drathis,
That's
correct?
where I think Violet's at, yes.
Okay.
They're going down another mountain is what I was picturing. This is
tumbling. Do you remember that video where the person just keeps falling down and it's like a rag doll?
Oh my God. Yeah. It's a video of a husband and a wife. He is down at the bottom and they're in this like snowy mountainous area and he's recording her just flopping down the mountain and he's laughing. Oh,
yeah, same logic.
But everyone thankfully in the comments was shitting on the husband for doing nothing and just recording as she just flops down the hill past him. Then it cuts to her just at the bottom laughing it off. Thankfully she ragdolled it because she had no broken arms. No clue how.
We're not doctors. We assume her arms weren't broken.
Well, she was moving them, at least from the
weren't
adrenaline.
Broken off. No, I was thinking of, do you remember the movie? You never saw this movie. I don't know why I ask you this. Mac and Me?
No.
See if you can find, there's a video, I believe, of this dude
Ryan,
just falling.
We're on chapter 64.
I think it's like a full minute and a half of just the same cut over and over and over of this ragdoll dummy falling down this mountain. The dude would have fallen like 8,000 feet. It was awesome. That's kind of how I picture Violet when she falls. It just keeps happening.
Who plays Ant-Man?
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd, every time he went on this late night show, would always play this same video of like,
Mac and Me?
Oh, wait, is that the reference?
That's really perfect. Honestly, that's amazing.
Wait,
it's a terrible movie.
Is that the scene you were referencing?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about exactly, honestly. It's entirely possible. Now I'm questioning if the movie I'm talking about is even Mac and Me. Maybe it's one of those other 80s movies.
It is Mac and Me. I didn't realize we're referencing the same thing.
Let me see. I may be wrong on the thing that I was referencing. Okay, it's a different scene. That's so fucking funny. It's a little ableist that we're laughing at this. Poor paraplegic child, just not paraplegic. Child in a wheelchair. Just goes careening off a mountain into a river.
So we were referencing the same movie, but I
think I was wrong about my movie reference. I think it's a different movie that I'm thinking of.
I've never seen Mac and Me. I've only seen this clip, Runaway Wheelchair, that Paul Rudd plays every time he would do a interview.
That's so fucking...
for a new movie.
Do not waste your time watching Mac and Me. That was a terrible movie.
It doesn't look high quality. It looks like an off-brand E.T. movie.
Oh, man, it was so much worse.
But, no, we got to stay on track.
Where were we? Violet fell down a hill.
Well, hers was really sad. Well, both scenes
Little
are
Miss Sorrengail fell off her tuffet.
Both scenes were sad.
Fell
this
for
one...
Taryn. All right, never mind. Go ahead.
In this scene, I was really stressing. You have a net that's huge, obviously. These squares are all around her. She's between them. I thought as they're tumbling down this mountain that she was going to get caught up in the rope and just... She's obviously not going to be decapitated, but I was fearing...
You think she could get desiccated?
Stop.
Okay.
That something was going to happen with a rope and just mangle her. Yeah, mangle her in some way. I'm like, well, this is it. This is going to stress me out. No, I stress myself out. They make it down. She has some type of knife, and I think she cuts herself out of it. Taryn is struggling. She obviously can't cut him out of it. She finds the note? No, not yet. She must get out and talk to T and says something to her about yearning for the temple. And T says, why serve a god when you can be one?
One more time. I need you to look something up for me. Eminem, Rap God.
I know this song. I don't need to look this one up.
How does it end?
Oh, I don't know.
Just go to the song and listen to the last 10 seconds.
Well, the second...
One problematic word.
He says the R word.
Okay, hold on. In the grand scheme of rap music, that is not the worst thing uttered, but I do love that you were like, excuse me, Mr. M.
Excuse me. Well, the very, very last line, why be a king when you can be a god? And we're just going to ignore the line before that.
Yeah. I don't know. It reminded me of that moment.
Do you think that T... Oh, wait. Back when they were on the Dune Island, we were trying to guess, was it Violet who struck the lightning or was it T? I think it was T. I think T was following them wherever they were going.
I don't think T could go to that island. I think that whole island was blessed by Dune. And since Dune has forsaken her, she cannot step foot there. Hence why the clump of stone that she gets chucked at her really hurts.
But it would make sense that if T was following them, she would try to help Violet, give her an edge to win. That she would also have hostility to destroy... Well, I don't think T can aim the lightning. I think she just creates storms. There was a little bit of rain in that scene, and there was lightning that struck down a statue that's been there for thousands of years. That seems like a T move.
It does. It just doesn't seem like T would be able to be there secretly.
Fair. I don't think we ever got an answer by the end of the book.
Not yet. It'll be Indarna's magic or Violet's secondary magic because she's partially blessed by Dune.
Maybe. I'm just going to go and binge listen to all the videos from that one TikToker and see if she has the answer for me.
Oh, man.
So we have that scene where she's talking to T. Violet finds a letter and it says something about a gift from one servant of Dune to another. Her path is still not set.
Hold on. What happens is Oryx package is stabbing her in the side.
Oh, right. That's how she finds it.
Yeah. But did anybody else giggle when she said, oh, it's Oryx package?
No, there's no way it was worded like that.
It was. The exact words were, it's Oryx package, I believe.
He stabbed me in the side.
Something to that effect. Like it was something's poking me in my side. This is after she's fallen. She's like, oh, what is it? Oh, it's Oryx package. And nobody giggled except me and probably Riddick. And she opens it up and she's like, why would he give me a rock? And then she's like, oh, this note is from the priestess of Dune's temple.
My next notes are T is up to her antics again, just being T. Violet brings up the temple. Taryn is escaping from his net, and the shadow wall comes into view. It knocks down T. Violet strikes in the darkness, taking Oryx's advice, and she realizes he's a precog.
I have a dumb question. Is this not also the moment where Violet and T are fighting, and T's like, fuck it, make a decision quick. I'm going to drain the earth the best way. She gives Violet the greatest hint in the world. Like, how do you avoid being drained? You must be standing on something that's already drained.
No, that was earlier, right when Taryn left to go take Tiny away. So she was without Taryn. Bodhi was there trying to reverse the storm. He was unable. Bodhi's dragon picked him up and took him off. Violet was left there with T.
Oh, yeah.
T starts to drain the ground, gives her the clue, and she runs to a wyvern.
Lifts her off of the air.
Yes.
This is how the whole thing goes.
This is the one where Violet and T are just facing off. I think there was fighting.
There was, and she threw lightning around. She's like, that way she knows I'm not fucking around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Xaden scene is happening where the shadows come through, pure pitch black at this time, and as she feels him guiding across her cheek or something like that.
Like caress.
Yeah. Very sweet, but it's also a heartbreaking scene. And like I had said, Violet strikes in the darkness. I also think that Auric being a precog means that the venin have a precog too.
I agree.
Violet strikes her in the heart with the stone since it's from the temple, and Violet surrenders to the fire burning within her and blacks out. At one of these points, she also says to Xaden, I love you.
When she feels that caress of the shadow through the bond, she's like, I love you.
And we later see Xaden have this moment, and it breaks it. Like, it hurts, and he's like trying to cling to it, and it just like shuts out. Him becoming a venin is shutting her out.
Yeah. So I'm not so sad for Xaden in this particular moment, because his whole mission is to protect Sigale, right? That's his whole thing. And then he brings up that he can't hurt this venin any more than he could hurt Violet. Then he talks about how his love for Violet is a magic that should not even exist. It has no comparison. But he does immediately make a comparison to his attachment for this venin who he can't kill. I can't remember that guy's name now.
I wasn't taking it as anything in his control. Like, he is unfortunately bonded to this venin and cannot hurt him.
I agree. But when he's talking about the bond, that's the word he uses, right? He's like, the bond between my sage and I can't hurt him. I thought I did even. I can't do it. And I couldn't do it to him any more than I could do it to Violet. And then he's like, my bond with Violet is something so magical, it shouldn't even exist, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, wow, it's a lot of feelings, but you are willing to give up that bond with Violet to save Sigale.
Did he give it up?
In his mind, he did. He became a full-on venin to save Sigale.
Well, and this is what got me crying, eating my cereal a day later after I finished this book. Thinking of this decision that Xaden made, I would have done the same thing, what he did.
Sure, yeah,
completely.
I agree.
And what made me sad is thinking about making a decision for our kids to save them, but at the expense of you, and I started crying.
Wow.
Oh.
That's a lot.
Because that's what he did.
If it takes any load off you, I insist, please. Again, if one of the kids is on fire, slit my throat to put them out.
Oh.
Like, it's going to be just fine. You can replace me way easier.
But he lost Violet by saving Sigale.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm going with this, is I don't feel bad for him in a sense. No?
You don't feel bad for him?
Kind of not really. Now, when Sigale answers him and he's like, will you forsake me too now? And she's like, what is there left to forsake of you? That hurt me.
And she said it after he saved her too, I think.
Yeah, because she's like, motherfucker, imagine one of the kids murders one of our other kids to save you. We only have two, so imagine one does it to the other. And they're like, don't worry, I saved you, Mom. And you'd be like, motherfucker, why'd you kill your sibling? Like, I think that's sort of the reaction she's having.
Oh, wow, that's a devastatingly good analogy because, yeah, if one of our kids killed the other sibling to save me, I'd be like, what the fuck? Just let me die.
Yeah.
But it was, no, that's not a
Okay.
good analogy.
All
I'm
right.
taking it back.
Okay.
Because it wasn't like save Sigale or, no, he didn't kill Violet. It's not like killing no.
He gave up his relationship with Violet and humanity to save Sigale and himself. Okay, it's one of the kids killing themselves to save you.
Oh.
It would be not a popular move. You'd look at it and go, oh yeah, you made the wrong decision, dickhead.
We kind of dove into chapter 65. Oh.
I'm blue. I'm a diva, but die.
Is that association just because I said 65?
Yeah, Eiffel 65 is the band that sings that song.
Oh my God.
No, okay, whatever.
I don't know bands.
Okay, close enough. We're fine. He has a blue dragon.
I can
he
wait.
has shadows, and they are so blue. Go ahead.
No, please more.
Oh,
Do the whole song.
give me a little bit. I'll come up with something. Did we ever put up the Fresh Prince thing?
No.
I'm going to have to go back and do that.
Chapter 65, Xaden's scene. This is after Sigale is caught. Sigale is out of power to give to Xaden. I never knew there was an end. And this is so devastating that he used everything that she could offer.
She wasn't enough.
And she wasn't enough. You said something, I don't even remember when, but it is stuck with me. That her feeling like she's not enough for Xaden.
Yeah, inadequate. That would be so hard. Can you imagine, too? Do you think because he's venin, he couldn't possibly burn out from her power?
I don't know.
Because otherwise you would think he would burn out. Because in the first book, he gets really close to burnout using her power.
That's a great point. And she wasn't completely gone of what she could offer.
Okay.
So he's used everything she could give. There's a bond between him and Berwyn. And he says, my sage. That threw me off in the moment. I'm like, what the fuck are you saying, Xaden?
That's a sage who happened to create you, motherfucker.
My sage? What do you mean? A brother turned.
My brother.
A lot of controversy. Pancheck is the double agent, sold info, and used Barlow as bait.
Gets killed immediately.
Oh, he did die. Oh, yeah, obviously his dragon was killed. Which was a great touch for showing us how serious this sage is. That he'll kill a dragon.
Well, and he did it with a regular ass sword. Like a little alloy dagger. He's just like, here you go.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Xaden's like, God damn, I didn't think they could do that with those weapons.
Yeah.
And there was nothing for him to kill Pancheck's dragon.
I didn't even think of that.
What was Pancheck's superpower?
Did we ever know?
Was he the projector guy?
No, that's Kaori.
Oh, good. Pancheck did have a superpower.
Unknown.
Ooh, that's a scary one.
And he's dead. Doesn't even matter. We never did get it.
Maybe his superpower is plot armor and he'll be back again.
He threatens to do the same to Sigale, killing her as he just did with Pancheck's dragon. Xaden obviously turns. I even have the note. I 100% would do the same. No doubt. I just would have. And
Isn't it wasteful? When you think of the way that he killed that other dragon, instead of draining it, he fucking just killed it for funsies. Like he didn't even want the power.
Yeah, what is their motive?
I think just kind of to be dickhead sometimes. And I think he was making a point there. Because Pancheck's like, you can't kill me. I'm your guy. And he's like, we don't fucking need you. And Pancheck's like, I'm going to call your bluff. And the guy's like, oh yeah, check this out. Pew, pew.
Is their ultimate goal to get to the hatching ground?
I don't know if there is an ultimate goal other than just domination. They're kind of bored. Look at the way T's handled Violet up till now. It's a pretty lackadaisical approach to getting where you want to go.
True. So Xaden turns, and this was an incredible scene. The voice actor who plays Xaden did awesome. He kept up the energy and momentum.
His name?
Nope.
No, fuck, I had it when I asked him, then I immediately forgot. But he does a great job.
Xaden brings up being on the ice many times, and Violet calls his wall ice also. And that's what shuts out the I love you and being connected to Violet, and he loses Violet.
We went over this one time.
Yeah.
The temperature of shadows, cold.
Icy.
Yeah, he's become the ice.
He stabs 2 venin, knocks out Berwin and his new brother, takes out all of the wyvern, skims past the one who thinks he's his brother, I'm assuming that's Barlow, destroys the 6 venin that are at the wall. Will you forsake me now moment to Sigale? What is there left of you to forsake? Horrible.
And he lets her in to search.
Oh, wait, what?
Mm-hmm. He says, I let her in.
Oh. What do you think that they needed to ask Taryn for?
Permission to take Violet. Otherwise, Taryn, he's not going to kill Taryn or that kills Violet. And if Taryn decides that Xaden's gone too far and that it might hurt Violet, Taryn kills Xaden.
Shameless plug between chapters.
Want more daggers and shadow daddies? Get a month ahead of where you're at right now. Sign up for 1 month on Patreon and then cancel that shit after you binged it.
That was great.
I listen to a lot of podcasts. I know how their advertisements work, and this is what I wish they did. It was only 5 seconds long.
Did you hear the theory of what it was?
What was?
One of the theories that I heard from this Emma Hallbrook.
It's not a theory now. If it came from Emma Hallbrook.
She just knows things.
Did you hear what it is?
Is that they needed to ask Taryn if he would be okay with breaking his bond with Sigale or having his bond broken.
Yeah, which I think is probably also a part of this.
And that's why he's sleeping, because his bond was broken.
And I think his bond had to be broken with Sigale so that Taryn and Sigale could stay apart long enough that they don't die of whatever it is they do when they are apart from each other. Because then Violet would know where Xaden is, and she would try to bring him back to the good side, and he doesn't have confidence in that working. On a lighter note, Indarna's back.
Oh my god, yeah, I don't even think I said this. Wouldn't I wrote?
You had a lot.
I did. I have Violet has a consistent strike, and then there's Indarna, and that's who T backs into is Indarna right there, and Violet stabs her. Not Indarna, T.
Okay. She stabs Indarna. She's like, haha, I don't love you anymore.
That's what you get for leaving.
She's just an abusive boyfriend.
Oh, no, this is getting dark.
I'm just saying. Indarna comes back wearing a tank top. Get a new tattoo on her arm. And Violet's like, not again. I would love if we could retell this in Trailer Park Hillbilly style. Indarna comes back. She's got a flat brim cap. Just like, come on, baby, you know you want to let me back in?
No.
Violet's like, no, you smell like venin, get out of here.
No.
She's like, I dabbled in other magic, but I knew you were the one, that's why I came back.
I kind of pictured the Iris as one of those communities.
Pineapples?
No.
Oh, okay.
Like the drink the Kool-Aid almost, but no Kool-Aid.
Are you describing a cult, not a community?
No.
A compound?
Yeah.
That's a cult, baby.
Yeah, but like a granola cult.
I would say it's still a cult.
It's still
I'm
a
not
cult.
calling it a community. Just because they're in Utah doesn't mean it's not a cult.
I'm picturing of like the kinds that you have this one super wealthy person, they have all this land and they're like, come
Bankroll
live.
everything.
Exactly. And they're like, come live off the land. And then you're kind of.
Pretty soon you're in Waco, Texas.
Exactly. That's what I pictured the Irids. And then Indarna going there and she's very military style and she just didn't make it. She's like, I need to get the hell out of here.
When
And
she was
just
eating
leaves.
her food too fast, not really enjoying it. She's used to having 15 minutes to eat and go.
I was thinking more of like a vegan diet versus a meat diet.
They're all eating lettuce and she's over there mowing down on a sheep that's still half alive.
Nothing against vegan diets.
Nothing against sheep.
No. If I could be vegan, I would be. I just can't
We've been over it.
bring myself to do it.
I would not be. I'm happy there are people that do it. Good for them. Whatever's floating your goat.
I understand the morals, but I can't bring myself. After this, chapter 66, Violet wakes up in the courtyard and Darna says she won't let them burn her. Another one of these theories that I found is that reasons for burning someone is breaking the codex or doing some high treason.
I can see this is way out of character for our group there. Are there perhaps other examples of when this particular person, Violet Sorengale, has been a part of either breaking codex or committing treason?
She's somehow going to get out of this one.
In one of these books, has that ever happened before this book?
I don't think we've seen it before.
No, I don't think so either. How odd.
I wonder how she's going to get out of it.
I bet it's not. I bet it'll be through means that are exactly in accordance with Codex. And there will be no treason involved. Because now she's the boss of her own land. And I'm sure if she is going to listen to what Halden says, when he becomes king, whatever he says goes. And I'm sure our new Duchess of Tyrandor will listen to all of it.
You're such a butthole. Get out of here.
Just flabbergasted. I understand where they're going with this. And I can totally agree with it on every note. But to be fair, Violet's whole thing is breaking Codex and committing treason.
So Andarna is in a constant state of, I will not let them burn you.
Yeah, I feel like that's what the dragons are always telling her. They're like, don't worry about it. We won't let them cook you this time. She's like, good. I'll take one more pardon, please.
Brennan found her at 3 a.m. in the courtyard.
Why was he dressed and ready to go at 3 a.m.?
Was he?
She doesn't say he sprung from bed.
What an odd
There
detail.
are people walking around, evidently. The other knights, or whatever you would call them, infantrymen, I guess, that are meandering about. I can understand having some security, but who the fuck are you really worried about?
Well, if your sister went missing for the last 12 hours, would you have slept at all?
I think I probably would have just figured she was dead and get some rest. We'll handle it in the morning.
Knock it off. You're just saying that because you know she found us.
Who? Oh, my sister. Yeah, that's true. No, I think that the logical thing here is that Bren was wide awake, scouring the courtyard waiting, assuming that she would sneak in as opposed to being flown in on an enormous dragon.
I want to point this out. I thought that Imogen was the one that brought her to the courtyard because she was the one that wiped her memory. But Imogen was the one that pointed out the ring. Like, look at that. Or something like that.
Don't you think Imogen also wiped her own short-term memory? If the whole idea is you're not supposed to know what's going on with Xaden, you give yourself the old MIB blinker blaster too.
I didn't even think of her doing that. You know what? I think we talked about this.
I would, because otherwise Dain could read your goddamn memories and know everything that he's not supposed to know just in case.
Did we talk about...
how much power Dain has?
Yeah, Sloane pointing this out?
I believe we did, but we could touch on it again. You're not supposed to have that much power. I don't know why Sloane talks like that, but she does.
I'm still hung up on it.
Okay.
Some people are wondering if he has a second signet that he's not talking about. Some people are wondering if Sloane was just able to sense how powerful he is and he's just not manifesting it yet.
Do you think that the amount of power each individual has anything to do with them, or it has to do with their dragon?
I thought it had to do with their dragon and if they were related to a previous writer.
I think each dragon has a certain amount of power, and then that power is interpreted by signet, and the people that are getting multiple signets aren't twice as powerful. They can just either use this power with this signet or this power with this signet.
Oh, that makes sense.
And I think Dane's, Kier, I think is his dragon, right? Kierlair?
No clue.
His dragon? We're going to go with Kath. Kath is his dragon.
There you go.
Anyway, so I think Kath is super powerful. And he's a big brown dragon, I believe. Dain has a lot of power, but he's not using a signet very often. He kind of has a moral problem with it at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have many thoughts with it. I'm just still hung up on it. And it popped into my head again.
No, I get it. That's fair. It was a weird moment.
I don't even think Dain is here.
At this point, not right now. He may be one of them missing. Remember, there are 4 missing.
4 riders and their dragons are missing. 3 elders dead in the valley. 4 riders missing. I don't know why I wrote that again.
4 riders are still missing after the elders are dead.
Yes. And 6 eggs are missing. Possibly one of each. One of the islands wanted eggs, but they wanted 12. 2 each.
Yeah. But now they're only asking for half of what they wanted before.
I think I saw someone say that to get those eggs, they killed the elders.
Oh, it was elder dragons?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I thought it was just old people.
No.
Oh, well, this just got real sad. I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
They killed old dragons?
Yeah. The elders of the dens.
You think they killed like 3 of them and they're like, if the other 3 want to stay living? You'll just let us borrow these bad boys? Wow.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
No, it's really upsetting.
If fucking Xaden took eggs, I know why you would take one of each, to be completely fair.
People think that it's Garrick.
And you're going to establish a new den somewhere else, in a new hatching ground, I'm sure would be the idea.
I don't know. There was another theory of grabbing 6 eggs to keep them safe with the Irids. That was another one.
That's not a bad idea. But killing the elders? Maybe the elders were really shitty elders. These are...
I don't know.
No, these are our boys. These are the ones that came with us.
Yep, I bet
Take them from the best guy at hatching grounds.
Oh, I guess I didn't even... Wow, I didn't even realize which hatching ground they were probably taken from.
They're probably taken from our homie hatching ground.
Yeah.
Which is a real issue.
Oh, yeah, because those ones are closer.
Yeah, I don't like this.
No, me either. This is really sad. I like to hope that maybe the eggs are with the Irids.
I don't know if I like that any better. The Irids are real uppity motherfuckers.
They are, and I was still upset about them just leaving Indarna all by herself. Taryn is resting and needs to recover. Unfortunately, the best answer I've seen for that was he is recovering from losing his bond, and that Indarna could have done it for them.
Yeah, but who carried Taryn back?
What do you mean?
Well, like, Taryn's recovering and resting, right? But he was pretty well donezo when Violet passed out, wasn't he?
I guess it just kind of depends on which temple they used. There's a temple that's not far from Eratia, right?
Yeah, there's a Temple of Dune right there, basically in Eratia.
Yeah, maybe that's where Taryn's sleeping.
Maybe. I'm just real sad. I hope it's not. I don't know what's happening right now. I'm very sad. Thank you, Adri.
In between Garrick missing and the eggs missing and possibly being Garrick the one taking on, is still leaning into maybe him. Again, just great writing that she wrote it in a way that it could be anybody. Violet has a splinted arm. The ring is made from Xaden's blade, and she doesn't feel the bond with Xaden, and she is married.
I thought the ring just matched the blade.
No, it was a missing one.
Oh, I thought it was a missing ring. I was confused the whole time. I'm being completely serious. I'm so dumb.
Yeah, I think he removed it to have a ring. Oh my God, I remember something that I've been waiting to tell you. Okay, I saw this video that connected the dots on something after they finished the book and then they reread it. Back in Deverelli, we know Xaden at one point snuck away to go pick out an outfit, some lingerie or like this see-through robe, something like that for Violet, right?
For a second, I thought you meant him.
No.
He was just going to be meandering around in a sheer robe like, hello.
Because we were talking about how she was in this robe and then there was a knock at the door and we're like, do you put another robe on?
Yeah, you just nips out.
Exactly. So you remember this outfit.
Yeah.
Xaden doesn't speak the language there. Who helped him and went with him to go make this purchase?
I like to imagine that nobody spoke the language. He just had to do this all through, like, what's that game? Charades. Where he's like, you know, like closing his hands over his eyes and like peekabooing through them. And then he's like pointing at nipples. He's like, oh.
Well,
I think I would be really good at charades for that.
It did end with Xaden telling Dain, come with me, and going to another shop. And it is assumed that he used Dain to translate for him to purchase that robe for her.
You think while Dain was there, he was also thinking it was just going to be for Xaden to walk around in? He's like, yeah, we're going to need one of your robes. My shadow buddy here. He wants to tan his cock, but not burn it. No? I think it could happen.
Well, I thought it was great.
I do like that theory.
No, it's not a theory. I think that is.
Oh, that's just what happened?
That's just what happened.
You don't think you just went and asked Kat, like, hey, you got a spare robe?
Oh my God. Knock it off.
Okay, so did flyers also go missing?
Great question. I don't have a note about it, and I just have stuff about riders. I don't think anything was mentioned about flyers. Oh my God, I never even considered the flyers.
Oh, that's okay. You don't like them. It's fine. I do. I care about everybody, but it's fine. I get it.
And that's the end of the book. It ends with the note saying, don't look for me. It's all yours now. And Imogen wiped her memory.
Well, then we have a theory.
What is it?
It's all yours now. And people are like, maybe it's his soul and not Tyrandor. I think he means everything is hers. Not just Tyrandor, but everything that he could offer her. is hers.
Yeah.
I don't think his soul was up for grabs. I think he sold that when he became venin.
Sold his soul to the devil.
Well, yeah, kind of.
There was one theory that I talked to you a little bit about, and then you stopped me because you were like, we're not allowed to talk about this.
Which one?
One that them getting married was him giving Violet his soul, the last little bit there was, to Violet so she can keep it safe and protected, and that's how they're going to cleanse him of his veninous.
I think if he can be cleansed, it will be something that Andarna figures out.
This theory had to do with using a similar method to killing T.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I don't think there's enough information, but it seemed like they were on a path that could happen. I don't know.
I wonder if there isn't like a seventh god.
There would have to be 7 dragons, 6 islands. There are 7 gods.
Oh, I thought there were 5 islands. Let's name them. Deverelli, Epstein's. Dune. Trifecta of a tricumbrant. Tribunal.
Okay. There is Deverelli, Umbriel, Hedotus, Zenal, Zelna, Loisum, and then there are multiple kingdoms.
Wait, how many gods? Just Google how many gods in this bad boy. Because that was 6.
Because you have the continent
And then
also.
you have the continent,
Yeah.
which is, it starts with an A.
Yeah.
What was that god's name? Adriana.
There are 6 gods. Amari, queen of the gods. That is
Yes,
the continent.
Yep.
Dune, goddess of war. Hedon, the god of wisdom. Loyal, I don't want to say these. The goddess of love. Malik, the goddess of death. Zenal, the goddess of luck.
Okay, so I propose that there's a 7th god, and that's the one that the venin follow, and it's a god of the soul.
That would be cool.
But it would kind of fuck up Malik's whole thing.
It would.
But if there's balance, there must be a counter god.
I also wondered if Violet's dad dedicated her to all of these gods, like a partial dedication to each of them. I don't understand why or the motive behind it, but there was only one that it was obvious that it was a partial dedication. It was because of her hair.
Yeah, Dune really changes people. Trying to think. The wisdom one would make some sense because she'd be a scribe. The luck one because of the plot armor. Love because Xaden loves her. I don't know.
Malik because of Liam coming back.
I want this to be so true.
That's what
You're fucking baiting me with this one.
I'm not. There was someone that wondered if she was partially dedicated to Malik and Dune. And I was like, why not all of them? Is there a little bit of each?
Why not dedicate her to the queen of them all?
Because you cannot focus on one of them. They're all jealous. Each of them equally.
Seems like those islands should be in rougher shape.
They
if
should
that's
be.
the case. Oh, what happened? Well, you go to the island of war. They know how to war, but they can't read. Oh, weird. Yeah, the lucky ones, life's pretty good, but if you throw a rock, the whole place falls apart.
There was also a theory about it possibly being Arik, who was one of the brothers. That would be a real twist.
The only reason Arik would do that is if Arik saw into the future and
Exactly.
saw that they come up with a solution, and the only way they do that is by Navarre wanting her to be able to find a cure as much as she wants to be able to find a cure. So therefore, the king would be incentivized to find every avenue to a cure to veninous if his son was venin. So I could see that.
Reason I don't think that it's Arik is because he is a precog. I think the venin already have one, and that magic found its balance by giving that to Arik.
Totally fair. Are we a little bit worried that General Melgren is on the venin side? Because Melgren's also a precog, he's just a shittier one. And magic requires balance.
No,
Okay.
I don't think he is. The compass, this was something that I don't think was ever tied up with. And I think there was still...
The busted compass that she got from the Zenal?
Yeah, do you think there's anything to that?
Yes, I want to believe there is because there's a lot of symbolism in broken compasses and things, right?
I always think of Pirates of the Caribbean.
I don't know what we're talking about.
The broken compass?
Okay.
I even think there was an entire
yes.
movie based off of this one broken compass.
You're right. I just remembered it. There was the broken compass, and that's what led them to the place where they all become skeletons.
No.
Okay, I don't remember this. I was trying to play it off.
It leads you to his ship.
Whose ship?
Well, I guess it depends on who you ask.
Okay, who's the guy? Which one's in this? Is this the first movie?
I don't remember. I think it's like the second or third one.
This is the octopus guy.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Why can't I think of the name of the ship?
The Black Pearl.
Exactly. It points you to that.
Yes, because it would be the Flying Dutchman is another ship. Or is that the guy who... Hold on. How the fuck can there be a Dutchman ship if the Dutch weren't around then? Are the Dutch a thing in... Oh, they are. Because they're British. Never mind, I was so wrong. For some reason, I think Pirates of the Caribbean should have taken place in 280.
What other loose ends were there? Does Violet have Xaden's soul so now he can be baptized with a stone to the heart in a temple, similar to T? I think we kind of went over that one. I don't know what we landed on. It's a possibility. Is Brennan a venin? Because there was no scar from the siphoning and all of that happening with saving his sister.
No, I think Naolan turned venin while Brennan was trying to heal him, and that's why he has the scar.
No, that there was no scar from what Sloane did.
Correct. No, I agree. I don't think siphoning would cause you to have a scar.
I wouldn't think so either.
That's why I'm saying is I think the reason that he has the scar he does is from when he was trying to save Naolan. And Naolan was a venin.
So we're landing on what Sloane did would not cause one, even though it seemed odd to Violet.
Yes, because Violet doesn't understand how siphoning works. So we're not meant to.
There's also a theory that Sloane will be the cure for Xaden.
I think Sloane's the cure to Dain being insufferable. I'm starting to like Dain again, but it's mostly because he's trying to get Sloane figured out.
One of my favorite theories I saw, Broccoli being Indarna's rider. And that is Broccoli's ending.
Oh my god. What do you mean Broccoli's ending?
Oh, no. No, as in we don't learn anything about Broccoli. That is a loose end.
They put a kitten harness on it.
Exactly.
And Broccoli gets goggles.
Exactly.
Yes. Agreed. I mean, it's a little demeaning to Indarna. Are they partners? Or is one of them rider? Or is this just how Broccoli gets around? Like they put a little basket on on Indarna and then Broccoli cruises.
I was picturing like a little satchel around Indarna.
Can you imagine you're going to be 3 layers deep? Because Taryn's going to have to carry Indarna. Indarna's got Broccoli. And Violet's on top of all of them. Taryn's like, I'm getting too old for this. My wings.
We talked about Dain having too much power. Why was Bodhi retching during Imogen's chapter? I don't think we had a good answer of what happened.
And I believe Bodhi did turn venin.
But you don't think the retching was from turning venin?
No, because I can't understand why he'd be the first and only one for that to happen. Also, I never knew what his second signet was. Maybe it was defecation.
Stop.
And everybody around him shit themselves, and he's like, "Bleh." Could have been.
No. Supposedly he doesn't have a second signet.
He definitely has a second signet.
He does. Who stole the eggs? I think the best answer so far has been Garrick.
Is there a... Now, this is just a theory. I want to bring this up. But is there any chance like there's coyotes or anything around there that are big enough to carry those off?
Get out of here.
Foxes. When you have chickens, like foxes and shit, they get a taste of chicken egg.
The eggs are pretty big. I assume they could fit our dog inside of them.
Could be a big fox. Real big.
Real big.
Raccoon, perhaps?
Perhaps.
Just a 9-foot tall raccoon running around. I want to ride one of those.
Oh my God, no.
Raccoon, just imagine your battle beast has thumbs. Fire's cool, but it's got thumbs and it likes to play with hair. It's coming for you. The venin are trying to go bald. Good times.
Do you think Violet is a dream walker or a mind walker?
I think she's a mind walker, if that's a thing.
I agree. I think we only see a small little bit where it's been defined as a dream walker, but there have been many, many instances where she is just in Xaden's mind.
Ooh, dream weaver. I'm going to have to write a mind walker song because Gary Wright's getting fucked up. It's not going well.
How do you think she used this signet when Indarna was gone?
Poorly.
No.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were asking me a question. You mean like, in what way was she able to use it?
Yeah.
Oh, I think, again, she was already gifted that. They don't say the dragons lend you. The dragons gift to you as your signet. Just because, like, if I give you something and then I leave, you keep that gift.
Okay, I like that. So you think that she just shifted from using Terran's power? Oh, you kind of mentioned something like this.
With the lightning. That happened on the island where Andarna still had magic.
You were talking about family member, like the dragons who bond a rider who was bonded to, I don't know, something with family, right?
Mm-hmm.
That it's the same type of power that's being offered, and yet they have two signets.
Right. Yeah.
So in a similar way to that, I really like that. I was always thinking that maybe she was something with a temple.
Which totally could be, too. I'm batting 1,000 in theories. What does Emma
Hallbrook.
What does Emma Hallbrook have to say about it?
I don't know yet. I'm going to be binge
find
listening. There is a theory that Lilith's dragon is the reason Andarna hatched.
Do you remember her dragon's name?
No. You know some dragon names. Goodness, you're killing it.
No, I'm probably wrong on almost all of them. But her mom's dragon's name was Acer, or what is it?
Aemser.
Aemser, there we go.
So this theory is saying we can assume that Aemser was the one who was discussing Violet being a scribe and being weaker in the dragon's den. Aemser may have been speaking near Andarna's egg when speaking about Lilith's youngest daughter, leading to Andarna's hatching. Aemser knew Andarna hatched for Violet and convinced Lilith to make Violet a rider. Andarna knew she could convince Terran to bond with Sigale's help. Sigale may have even chosen Xaden to help protect Violet.
Okay, if this is Emma Hallbrook's theory...
No, it's not.
Oh, good, because it sounds so wild.
It's wild. This is just some random
okay, good.
TikTok.
Well, I mean, good for them, to be fair. It's not the weirdest theory we've come up with, so it could be totally right. It seems a little far and left.
There's a lot of ifs, but I haven't ever had a understanding of how did Andarna hear about Violet.
I don't think she had to physically hear anything.
How did she learn about Violet?
It's a disturbance in the Force. They feel things. She is magic. Remember, that is explained to us 1,000 times. And if we're so worried about the method of communicado necessary for Miss Andarna, what the fuck brought Andarna back in the middle of this battle that Violet was having?
Okay, that's fair.
Well, Aemser came back from the grave as a... what is it? Hold on. Like in Star Wars where like the Jedi, they die, but then they always come back with a blue outline. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
It's the same thing. It's just Aemser comes back in a blue outline and is in front of Andarna. And she's like, Violet needs you again. You are not finished, child.
There's a theory that Violet is part dragon, or not necessarily.
How the fuck would that have even happened? What the hell are people smoking? No, Violet's dad's mom got a little drunk one time, found a dragon that didn't look like it was going to split her in two, and took a run at it. Was it a donkey show thing? What the fuck?
Oh my god.
Well, I'm wondering. It's their theory. I'm just asking questions.
I think it's not necessarily that she's part dragon, but that her dad did something with feathertail elixir, or, oh my god, let me find it. I think I have it.
Have we ever heard of a term of feathertail elixir before this? And also, are we making it so that the dragons are on a farm somewhere and have no sense of agency? Because they're not famously letting humans fuck around.
Okay, here it is. Theory: Violet will be a part of the Empyrean. The series is called the Empyrean because it's about Violet's journey as the first human to be a part of the Empyrean. There are many clues to this. Violet is told by a venin that she can control the sky and doesn't know it. Empyrean means the sky. Violet's father may have even saved her with dragon feathertail blood, making her part dragon. And
how would he may have?
I don't know.
There are many things that point to this. This maybe could be. This also maybe could be. And if that is maybe possible, then this could potentially happen.
It reminds me of how cults happen. They like take you on this journey of logic and then it gets wilder and wilder, but it needs to be really slow and ease you into this logic.
How the fuck did this start slow?
I don't know.
This reminds me of how panic attacks happen. It starts off with something where you could potentially be the case, and by the end, you're convinced that you actually have ruined every relationship you've ever been a part of.
Well, some of the top comments, it might be It might explain why she's the only one able to talk with her dragon when no one else could.
No, it would still not explain shit. The dragons couldn't communicate among each other, remember? That was a huge point of contention between Sigale and Terran.
Comment number 2, especially Terran, the first time they met, saying, I know who and what you are.
I know you're 1/16th Cherokee. This is what this is coming off to me. Why? Let her just be a person and let the book actually be about Indarna. The book isn't actually all about Violet. Violet is a means for Indarna's story to be told. It's our vehicle. She is our vehicle. I should respect her pronouns.
Another comment. To me, Terran referring to Xaden as her mate is a clue. Only dragons have mates, and he wouldn't use that word lightly. Unfortunately, I do disagree. I think Violet is not, she's mated, yeah?
She has. We've heard about them. Lightning strikes, all kinds of shit happens. Yeah, she has mated several times.
Anyways, that's a theory that she's part dragon by
That's insanity.
drinking feathertail blood or something like that.
Okay, yeah, this is the thing. She was christened by dragon blood. Oh, fuck. Listen, I think that Violet's dad was up to some odd nonsense. I do not think he made a world tour and committed her to all of these different gods.
Oh, that one I believe.
I know.
Dang it.
I'm so sorry. Listen, and I think that it's great that you have that, and it could totally be true. As we go through this book and we've realized all of the things that I was so certain were or were not happening, I was wrong so much. I have a much better understanding of what Sarah J. Maas is about to do than I do Rebecca Yarros.
You were right on guessing Sloane and Dain.
I got that one, and I might add that I also theorized some shit with T that turned out to be pretty true.
You did.
I don't remember.
I don't know if it was confirmed true.
Well, basically.
Do you think Terran
Hold on. I theorized that T was wielding storm and not lightning.
I think you did.
I did?
I was editing one of our older episodes, and I caught this part
Did
where
you cut it out?
No,
so I couldn't
didn't.
be right. That would be really funny.
No.
You should. And then now when I'm saying it, I look like a jackass.
No, it was me talking about, well, that can't be T because there is a storm. There's only lightning. But
All I'm saying is a couple theories have been right, but this is not like Sarah J. Maas, man. You can see what she's doing from a mile away. Rebecca Yarros writes like she knows that I think I know, and then she's like, haha, gotcha. And then she pulls something crazy out. New rule, and then it's something different. You're like, what the hell's happening?
do you think Terran broke his bond with Sigale?
Yeah,
Oh.
I do.
Oh, and then my note, is Violet part dragon?
No, there's no fucking way Violet's part dragon. I love that they made up a thing in their theory. She was christened in feathertail blood.
It was a theory within a theory.
It was so many layers deep. That was theoryception, and I love it so much.
Also, any final thoughts on Xaden's mom?
She sounded hot. No, I'm just teasing.
No, she sounded like a bitch.
I'm into it. You know I am. A woman willing to poison her own children.
I don't think
Take
she
me
did
away,
it.
Casey Anthony. Jokes. Don't make that joke. Cut that joke.
I feel a little underwhelmed by the scene with his mom, but I don't think it should have been anything else. I don't think anything should have changed. I think it was more, I was hoping for her to be something more.
I was hoping that Xaden would have desired a relationship with his siblings that he found. I wanted him to have that desire, even if then he had to reason through it and say, I'm currently doing treasonous shit and it's getting a little hairy. I'm part evil.
Do you think anything will come back with his mom, or that's case closed?
Eventually it'll come up because I think Violet's going to want information. And I think Violet's grandma, when Violet goes to speak to her, is going to somehow lead her back into some of these deals, right? Where she's going to have to go back into the islands. I wonder if Xaden didn't take those eggs in order to make good on a deal that he made with the king, with the tigers.
He would never. That's not who wanted the eggs.
Not initially. He said, I need a favor and I want your guys' protection or something of that nature. I need your services because the second Crowlish uprising failed because they didn't get 12 dragon eggs or something like that. I don't fucking know how that thing worked.
I don't know what to think about the eggs. I think it's one of two options. They are in hiding to protect them, or they are used to negotiate.
Or they're a protein-rich supplement.
No.
And, okay.
Did you have any other bits?
I have so many bits.
No, I
Everything I
tried
do is a
to
bit.
go over all of the theories and loose ends that I had questions on, and
I think those are awesome theories. I think some of them are awesome. Violet being half dragon is not an awesome theory. Whoever you are, get off the internet
knock
and
it
quit
off.
reading these books. That's worse than anything I've said. Not anything, but most things that I've said. That's a terrible, terrible thing.
We had really good intentions
Big intentions.
to reread this entire book and do another episode.
We did.
I am really excited for our next book, and I want to wait on doing a full reread until book 4 comes out.
Do you think there's going to be book 4?
Yes.
What if something horrible happens?
Stop it. No.
I'm just saying, what if this story ended right here? Would you be satisfied with the first 3? Knowing that it was supposed to be a collection of 5.
I don't think the cliffhanger on this book is near as bad as Iron Flame.
Okay.
So I think I don't feel this sense of loss. I did for a few days. Now I'm doing better.
The 4th Wing kicked my ass way more than Iron Flame did.
For the cliffhanger?
The end of it.
Yeah.
The end of 4th Wing was like, motherfucker, we got to read the next book right away. Iron Flame, we got to the end of it, and I was like, I'm really excited for the next book, but what's going to happen? This book was so great for the first 50 chapters, really until T became shitty as a villain.
So you're upset about T still?
Yeah.
And that she's gone? Maybe she
No,
comes
not that
back.
she's gone. I think if she was going to be what she was for the last few, she just let me down. It was so much amazing buildup, and she was such an incredible villain. To then just have her kind of turn into
She had to go.
Yeah, but she had to go because they wrote her into being terrible in the end.
She was a villain. She was
No, not
always
terrible behavior. She was bad at being a villain.
All right.
In the end, it was like, my evil plan. I'm out of patience. And then she loses all her cool. She was just a real letdown in the end.
I see what you mean. It's like her character shifted a little bit from who we knew this entire time to the very end.
She was a cool bad guy.
I was going somewhere with this.
So
I don't
sorry.
remember. Well, we're going to pause on rereading it and going into our next book. We did a vote and it landed on the Book of Azrael series. After that series, we may squeeze in something else, but I have a goal of reading Throne of Glass series and A Court of Silver Flames before book 6 comes out for Akatar.
What's Akatar's 6th book going to be called?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think that one's coming out until 2026. So we still have time.
Okay.
But I am going to get through Throne of Glass by the end of this year.
I like it.
I also included in our description a list of other books that a lot of people that we follow on Fable who enjoy the same books as us, books that they're reading as recommendations if you are looking for anything. And a really odd recommendation, if you really liked Onyx Storm, is Severance, the TV show.
They are in no way correlated.
None. But if you like puzzles, like you get out of this, we're looking into theories, or what does this mean? Severance gives you that.
I think, even if you didn't like this book, Severance is amazing. This book is really good. I do not think this is a mystery novel. I'm not going there. This is not some high mind mystery thing.
But as far as the addiction of looking into the theories and what does this mean?
If you like being confused, Severance is for you. I love it. I would say if you like Glass Onion and those kind of things, Severance is great. But Severance is really a heady show.
Yeah, it's completely different from this genre.
It's super fun. You know what? Fuck it. You're right. I recommend if you like this, watch Severance. If you don't like this, still watch Severance.
We gave our rating on Onyx Storm. What do you give it? Because we had to share our rating and I kind of took over. I gave it 5 out of 5.
Did you really?
Yeah, I gave it 5 out of 5.
That makes sense. You've done that with the rest of them.
Yeah, this whole series, 5 out of 5. I love it. What do you rate it though?
This is the best one so far.
Oh.
This is my favorite one of these 3 books.
I think Iron Flame is my favorite.
I think the last part of Iron Flame and the first 5/6 of this book are my favorite.
That's very specific.
Yeah, I'm really a butthole. I don't know. I don't think this book ended on a note that I liked, but I enjoyed 90% of this book probably.
So
Maybe
where do you
more.
rate it?
Well, by 90%, I would have to say 4.5 out of 5, but...
That's 4.5? Liking 95 of it?
No, 90% is 4.5 out of 5.
So you're giving it 4.5 stars because you like 90% of the book?
Well, I'll do it differently.
No, I'm just trying
don't
to
know.
understand. I go based off of vibes. I had a great time reading, so it's 5 out of 5.
And this is the thing. To me, a 5 is a perfect book. And I've read 2 books between Iron Flame and the end of this one that I like. I like one of the books I read more than this book.
What books?
I like Mistborn more than I like this book. And I liked the Serpent Feathers.
The Serpent and the Wings of Night.
Yeah, there we go. I like that book more than I like Iron Flame. Actually, maybe a little less than I like this. Oh, man.
I hope to go through that series. I ended up deciding not putting that on the poll because I wanted to read the options that I offered. So,
You know what? I'm giving this book a 4.35. 4.45.
okay, then what do you give Iron Flame? Now that we've kind of gone through it.
God damn it. I don't remember what I gave it last time. I'm going to give Iron Flame 4.
Okay, and then Fourth Wing?
Man, Fourth Wing is my least favorite of the series, but it's really necessary. Actually, no, you know what? I'm going to give Fourth Wing a 4.2.
Okay. We need to start our next series.
We do.
Gods and Monsters is the name of the series. The first one is called The Book of Azrael.
Read along.
I love you.
I love you.
You're my bestie.
You're my bestie. I really enjoyed this series with you. Thank you guys for supporting us. It's been a good time. If you'd like more,
Follow us here, TikTok or Instagram. Fable, if you want to join our book club. Patreon, if you want episodes early.
drop it on Tuesdays if you're into that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. Episodes are releasing on Tuesdays. If there's a 2-parter, it's going to be on Thursdays.
We accept 5-star reviews and nothing less. If you leave something less, you're a motherfucker.
No! Honest reviews.
Not that honest. Only leave a review if you're willing to be a 5-star honest person. Should we come up with something mean to say to him on the way out? I kind of want to pick on him.
No, I
don't
won't say
want that,
love
babe.
you. Bye.
Oh, you can tell him that you love him.
Okay.
I won't.
Love you guys before Ryan bullies you out of here.
I'm fine with most of you. I love you, bye. The We're a Smutty Podcast. The books, you're right. They may or may not be smutty. We read 3 Little Pigs. And one of them gets fucked. Get ready. It's not the one you think. Which one do you think is the sluttiest pig?
None of them.
I think it's the one in the brick house.
Oh, I was thinking the one with the hay.
I
because-
thought you would, and that's how I knew it. Because the twigs aren't sexy enough, the hay one's like, oh, please don't blow my house over. Yeah, no. That's sad that you would think that. It's the one in the brick house, because it's the one you wouldn't think.
This is the one that's getting paid and has money for bricks.
Whoa. First of all, this is a slutty pig, not a whore pig. This pig does it for the love of the game.